Friday night, just reflecting, close game, probably frustration you didn't get anything out of it.
Yeah, I thought we should have won. Never mind getting a point. I think having looked back at it again like we always do, my feelings haven't changed. Obviously, doing the debrief with the players on Saturday morning and going through the videos we always do after the game. Yeah, same feelings. First goal's massive in a game. For it to come just after half time the way it did, could have sent the players in a frame of mind that could have been really, really difficult night for us. As it happened, they responded really well, created another very, very good opportunities in the second half. And yeah, listen, we've created 4 really, really good opportunities, not half chances. So frustration, but at the same time, lots and lots of positives to come away from it. None more so than the way we were out of possession.
MK Dons, different tasks for you, but they've been on a decent run themselves. So what are we expecting from them?
Well, they're a decent side. They do look to play, so I know we've got a few of our fans who are a little bit nervous how we do it. Just wait till you see MK tomorrow. No, it should be a good footballing game. Should be 2 decent footballing teams on show on the night, and it should be hopefully as good a game as it was on Friday in terms of atmosphere and the way the 2 teams apply themselves.
Do you think when you come up against a side who wants to play football and who try and play good football, that will benefit your team as well?
Yeah, sometimes it depends. Listen, we come up against sides who like to get the ball forward a little bit earlier than possibly we do. But at the same time, they come out of the blocks and they want to stop us playing, which suits us as well. So doesn't always mean that it's going to be as high a tempo, I suppose, as the game was the other night. That will depend on how we press MK and how MK press us. But there's no doubt about it that there should be some good football on show and hopefully some entertaining stuff.
Because there was an extra gap between the games compared to usual Saturday to Tuesday, does that mean you're not going to have to rest or change around your squad maybe as much as you would have done if it would have been a Saturday afternoon?
Potentially, yeah. Obviously, we were in Saturday morning just to get the cobwebs out. The lads who weren't involved did a tough session on Saturday. So what it does, it gives me an opportunity today to potentially do a little bit more than what I would normally do if we played Saturday, coming in the day before the game, obviously for tomorrow. So yeah, let's wait and see.
The gap still is quite a gap between yourselves and the relegation zone. Is it about looking up now with that 15-point gap?
I don't know about looking up as such, and I apologise, but don't. It's just every game, it's one of them where we want to finish the season as high as we possibly can in terms of the way we feel about ourselves, and the only way you do that is to play well. We played really well Friday, I thought, and we didn't get the result we deserved. I'd like to think in the next 13 games, if we play as well or as close to what we did on Friday night, we'll win quite a few games between now and the end of the season, and hopefully that will give people hope for what we can do next year. And that's the biggest thing for me. It's like, first and foremost, I know people don't want to hear it, but I'll keep repeating it. Being in this division next year is the most important thing. I think knowing that there's work to do in the summer and the amount of work that needs to be done in the summer, it's exciting for me. Hopefully it's exciting for everybody else. I certainly know it is the board. And then that gives us a massive opportunity to have a right go at this league. But I said it from the first day I come in, I don't think we're ready as a football club. I think it's important to establish yourself, know what's out there, know your competition, know the heights and the levels that you need to get to where Rotherham are at the minute.
Lovely, thank you.
Is tomorrow's game a bit more, is there more on it than say Friday's game? It's more important to beat teams like MK and Accrington and Stanley than perhaps Rotherham.
If we're thinking in the frame of mind of staying in the division, if that's your mindset, then obviously people are going to look at it and say, yeah. I think from our point of view, it's just making sure that we get, I suppose, a response from the little bit of a run that we're on at the minute. We want to win. We need to win a game of football, and the sooner the better. And the fact that obviously MK are in pool of clubs around where we are probably makes it certainly more important than Rotherham.
Do you sense the confidence is still decent? Bear in mind the what are the results?
Well, if the performance on Friday's got anything to suggest, then I would have thought so. I mean, it would, like I say, having lost 3 games in a week and then going behind against a team that are just steamrolling everybody, it would have been quite easy to get turned over. But I think the response that we got after them probably suggests that it's still pretty high.
Did Anthony Scully give you food for thought the other night?
He did, there's no doubt about it. But it's nothing that I don't know, obviously, because I knew that I've known the kid for a while. So I want them all to do that. Nothing more so than probably the Jake Escott did coming on at Southend. Even Jack Payne, to a degree, who was out of the squad for a while and come on at Southend, and I thought did well. So they're all asking questions, which is important. And again, that probably answers your last question in terms of where the group are. They're all still hungry to improve and try and impress.
Was it particularly useful to watch MK so soon before you played them? Obviously, you watch every opposition anyway, but watching them 3 days before.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I know they can make a few changes, and they might do, and they probably will do. Going back to Rob's last point, in terms of it being Saturday, Tuesday, there's always the temptation to mix it up a little bit, knowing that you've got a game at the weekend as well. So we're aware of that. But for me personally, absolutely 100%. Yeah, I think it's always nice to have a little bit of a closer look at the opposition, and certainly when you're there, you see things off the ball that you don't quite get to see on a camera or on the video.
I think we touched on Bozzy the other night, but is he more likely perhaps for Saturday rather than tomorrow night? Will that come too soon for him?
Yeah, I think I'd be surprised if, I'll be very surprised if he's more than capable of playing tomorrow. I mean, he's only had 1 training session, and I know he's a warrior, but I think everyone needs a few sessions under the belt before they can be available to play, certainly from the start anyway. He surprised me before, and hopefully he'll surprise me again. I wasn't sure how he'd be back in November, was it, when he come on at Burton, and he come in as if he'd been playing the majority of the season.
Has Lee Freckenson made any positive progress? Is he still training?
Yeah, listen, he's still doing bits and pieces. Having said that, we was bringing Liam Bridcut in and already having 4 other midfield players. You never say never, but I don't see him being involved too much too soon.
Okay, thanks, Michael.
Following up on Mark's point, what did you probably learn most about Milton Keynes on that windy afternoon at Shrewsbury on Saturday?
Not massively more than I already knew, if I'm being honest. Obviously, we'd watched them a couple of times in their previous games, which they did really well to obviously get a couple of wins under the belt. They're clearly in a good place. You can see that. But I think from my point of view, it was first hand just having a little bit on 1 or 2 of their players that I'm aware of, and hopefully that we can make sure that we pick the right team to try and expose 1 or 2 things.
Thank you.
MK Dons, their away form only picked 7 points up away from home all season. Their last away win was obviously Blackpool, first game of the season. Do you look too much into that, or just it's a new game? So
I wouldn't say I look too much into it. Whether they do subconsciously, knowing that's the case. I'd like to think that, like I say, obviously watching them at Shrewsbury on Saturday, that you wouldn't realise that was the case, or they looked aside who were confident, looking to play out from the back every opportunity they could do. They've got a goalkeeper who's very, very comfortable with his feet. So they certainly didn't look like a side or played like a side who were struggling to win away from home. Having said that, I could probably say that about us on a couple of occasions. So I just think, obviously, with the way they set up and the way we set up, it just looks like it could be a good game.
thank you.
Very much.
Cheers.